Today, we're going to cover some topics, albeit alone today. I'm without Coach, so I'm riding solo, or as the kids say, I'm riding dirty. But today, we're going to do a little bit of red, white, and blue celebration for the country. We're going to cover some things that involve Bobby Bonilla and his payout. We'll cover the World Cup, and then we'll get into the Caitlin Clark WNBA saga, fiasco, whatever you want to call that. And then we'll dive into a little bit of Daniel Jackson baseball for the UGA Bulldogs as the Golden Spikes Award winner. Just touch on him a little bit and re-celebrate him for another second. Congratulate him. And then we'll wrap up with a little bit of MLB talk and maybe some All-Star talk with some MVP stuff mixed in. And then we'll, of course, always talk about what chaps our ass on the Chapped Ass podcast, a face for radio.
Yeah! Let's go! Yeah, we fired up, got something to say. No filters here, we don't play it safe. Hot takes fly, better brace for the blast. Welcome to that chapter. Let's go!
Welcome to the Chapped Ass podcast, a face for radio. I'm your host, Chap Green, coming at you 5 foot, 10 inches above sea level, baby, from the stock in beautiful Woodstock, Georgia. Before we get started, we'd like to give a shout out to our potential sponsors that are just waiting to give us a call. If you don't have the number, if you don't have what we need, find us, look for us. But we also need everyone that's listening, everyone that's paying attention to our reels and our shorts to please pay attention. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, leave us a 5-star interview, please. We need subscribers. We've crossed over the Mendoza line of 200, and we are working now towards 300, but we need your following. Got a lot of bump up on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram recently, about 150, 200,000 views in the last 30 days. So we're excited and we appreciate it. But let's get into business right here. Thank you for that. And again, sponsors find us, ring the bell, subscribe, leave us a 5-star interview. That's what we need. That's how we get this thing moving on the Chapped Ass podcast, a face for radio. We might even throw a few shout outs here in a second. But let's dive into first, and I may come across as a newscaster today because I'm doing this solo, so pardon the graphics if they look funky. But first, let's get into the celebration that is the 250th, right? Let's go ahead and call it what it is. Happy birthday, America. We salute you, red, white, and blue. We're excited about that. It'll be on July 4th, which is coming up soon, so hopefully you're spending time with your friends and family. Hopefully you travel safely, and again, we're celebrating the red, white, and blue of the United States. And we should all be proud. We should all feel great about this. The World Cup is here. Things are going smoothly. People love our food. They love our air conditioning. They love to try new things. And America has been super friendly. I know the South has gotten a ton of recognition. Good job, South. Way to be. But everywhere, New York, California, San Francisco, Seattle, they're singing, Country Road in the stadium after victories with the USA, which we'll get into in a second. But it's a good day to be an American. So happy future 4th of July coming up, folks. And we hope you have a safe and fun and firework-filled celebration. But now let's get into the what traditions do you have for the 4th of July? Hopefully you have some traditions that you look forward to. I know some traditions that I always look forward to growing up where homemade vanilla ice cream was one, and that little silver thing where you put the salt so the ice sticks to it. It takes forever. It's almost like caveman TV. You're watching it cook in there, so to speak. Watching that thing spin, just waiting for that vanilla ice cream to be ready. Oh, man, it was so tasty. And barbecue, it's always barbecue on the 4th of July in the South, I think probably everywhere. But barbecue, primarily chicken with us. Love growing up on some barbecue chicken. Both sides of my family could really cook. Joe Hack could barbecue some chicken pieces right there, and it was awesome. Thank you, Granddaddy, for all those great memories. Sweet tea, fantastic. All you can eat desserts. A 4th of July filled with that is an amazing day in itself. And then you get to the fireworks, which Coach Grainer's not here, but Coach Grainer's a guy that doesn't really enjoy the firework portions of it. So that's okay, but I do. So I enjoyed buying the fireworks, enjoyed shooting the fireworks. And when I was younger, I would stay with my dad in the summer, and we would take the family and we would drive out to the city, so to speak, to Mobile, Alabama, the big city, the metropolis that is Mobile, that thrives. So we'd drive out there. They'd have this big fireworks show put on by the city of Mobile. There'd be cars everywhere, people in schools laying on blankets, laying there watching it. Loved it. Enjoyed watching every second of it. However, they would also put on WKSJ. There's a shout out for the radio station. I'm not sure if it's still around, but WKSJ, they would sort of sponsor the fireworks. So you would also get their music version. So as the fireworks are shooting off in the distance, again, close enough for everyone to see very easily, and the music's playing on the radio. And the final tradition that I'll leave you with on that, which if you're old enough to remember this, and I think most of us are, and I'm sure he'll sing happy birthday, but is the finality of the fireworks show when they're just shooting them all off, bam, 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 like just going crazy with the good stuff. it was always Lee Greenwood. Proud to be an American, singing on the or God Bless the USA, excuse me. God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood. And he would always sing that song, and that would be the finale of the fireworks. Then you hop in your car and you head home. But really cool traditions. And so anyway, if you have cool traditions that maybe I missed, or other cool traditions in the West or the North or the East, give us some shout out and let us know what kind of celebrations you do and you've done over the years. So let's transition real quick, because another guy that's celebrating this week is going to be Bobby Bonilla. The Bobby Bonilla payout day was today. Bobby Bonilla, every year, for you guys that don't know, he signed a long-term deferred contract years ago where he gets approximately 1.2 million. I think it's like 1.193 million and some change every year on the same date. Well, that date was this week. So congratulations to Bobby Bo on his payout. My question for you is, what would you do with 1.193 million, especially if you knew it was coming every year? Let's just pretend for 1 year what you would do if it was coming. I think with me, like what I might do is probably go buy me a saltwater property somewhere on the beach in the South, somewhere in Florida beaches, Alabama beaches, North or South Carolina beaches, somewhere in that area where we sort of travel and frequent. I'd probably go there and grab me some saltwater property. I'd like to have a boat dock behind it. I'd probably buy me a nice fishing boat, a saltwater fishing vessel, maybe even buy me a freshwater boat for the house. But I think I would definitely reach out and get me something saltwater so we can go on those vacation days, maybe the 4th of July, like we're talking about, or, you know, when we travel for softball to certain places, we'd have a place to stay or whatever for our house, and then maybe rent it out. But it'd be a nice thing to do. And it's always nice to dream. But like, what would you do with $1.2 million? Seriously, think about that. I mean, what do we do there? I mean, everybody's probably buying something, buying a house, but I wouldn't blow it all if I didn't have to. Now, a beach house is going to probably cost you $1 million plus now. So I probably would have to blow at least one of them. But if I knew I had that money coming in until 2035, like Bobby Bo, salute, Bobby. You did it the right way, brother. But happy Bobby Bo deferral day and deferral week for you, Bobby Bo. So congrats on that. And spend it wisely, brother. Spend it wisely. It evaporates in 2035. So you've got just about, 9 more years of that. So you got another 10 million plus coming at you before taxes, right? $10 million after taxes is still $6-8 million. So, you know, hopefully he does the right thing with his money. Now we're going to move into another proud reason to be a soccer fan, to be a USA guy, to be a red, white, and blue person in the United States right now. It is a great time. Again, as we talked about, 4th of July is coming up, the 250th celebration of the United States of America. You know, the whole thing is kind of coming around, and I think we'll have to celebrate the United States men's soccer team. Congratulations as they advanced to the round of 16 with a tough game against, they had to play a doubleheader, I think, maybe, right? They had to play Bosnia and Herzegovina. Okay, that's a joke for you non-soccer fans or you soccer fans. But anyway, so tough match. The biggest thing I see there, the USA was a -700 favorite. So technically we're supposed to win. We did win. It was a 2-0 victory. So we beat Bosnia and Herzegovina 2-0. So good job, guys, with the shutout, freezing the goal with a little bit of a rough day, but still kept it going and kept the shutout clean. And of course we won and we advanced, which is a new thing for soccer for the United States in the last few years. And I got to be honest with you, I don't watch a ton of soccer, but I watched more soccer last night than I probably watched combined in the last 30 years. So I did tune into the game and I was excited for them. So if you watch that game, is that a red card? Does that deserve to be a red card? I mean, seriously, tell me. No, right? No way. There was no intent. They were going full speed. The guys kicking at the ball together, kicking at each other. He steps on his ankle and rolls his ankle. I realize there could be some injury or whatever, but man, a red card to affect the tournament. So now Belugan, the guy that scored technically 2 goals last night, or 3 goals, whatever it was, 2 goals, and one of them was called back. However, that guy's now one of our top goal scorers, and he's suspended because of the red card. So he will be ineligible to play in the next round when they head to Seattle. By the way, Seattle, go stack that stadium. Go celebrate our boys in the red, white, and blue and cheer them on. And hopefully we're singing Country Roads at the end of that match, too, as we advance further. But it's a good day and a good week and a good year to be an American again. You got the 250th. You've got the World Cup here, and everything is going smoothly, knock on wood. But we're thankful that everybody's enjoying their time here and they're celebrating America and they're realizing that we're not as bad or as nasty or as political as they first thought. So next, let's just kind of dive into one other thing that we've been talking about. It's a messy situation, but it's a messy situation for Argentina, and it's also a messy situation, an Mbappe situation in France. They're currently the top two teams expected to sort of reach the finals if you look at the Vegas odds. I believe France has now overtaken that lead as the lead dog to win it. Mbappe, I believe his name is Kylian Mbappe. If I'm saying that wrong, don't hate on me. I'm doing the best I can without Coach Grainer here to help me pronounce. Sarcasm, by the way. But anyway, so hopefully you realize that we have been celebrating Messi for being the leading goal scorer in World Cup history. I think now he sits at 19 goals. He's had a great tournament. But also now Mbappe is creeping up on him. Mbappe's got 18 goals, so he's 1 goal behind Messi. So we may be talking about a different greatest player in the World Cup history very soon, or definitely by the next one, depending on what Messi decides to do. But I would assume he'll continue to play. So let's transition from the soccer ball field, from the World Cup field, from the celebration field. Oh, no, we'll stay on the celebration field. But let's move into college baseball. The Golden Spikes Award was given this past week, and that's given to the quote-unquote best baseball player in the United States, voted on by the writers and Baseball America. So let's go ahead and give a shout-out to the Golden Spikes Award for Daniel Jackson at University of Georgia, earning the Golden Spikes Award. This kid had an electric year this year. Some accolades for Daniel Jackson. First of all, his team, which I know he's a team-first guy. He's a catcher. His team won the SEC Conference Championship for the first time in history. So kudos to Daniel Jackson for being a big part of that. Congratulations to the Georgia Bulldog baseball team, and way to represent the state. But great job. But this kid has been amazing. Obviously, again, like I said, he's a catcher, so he's behind the plate. But I believe his stats now, if I'm wrong, just correct me a little bit here. But I believe 32 homers, 87 RBIs. He had a 1.276, I believe, OPS. But amazingly, again, as a catcher, I believe he stole 26 of 28 bases, which is amazing for a catcher. I'll stop saying amazing. But he was fantastic on the field and off the field. He shakes the umpire's hand after every game, win, lose, or draw. So I think he's a great kid. But he's the third player now in the SEC to ever win the Triple Crown, which is home runs, batting average, and RBIs. So congratulations to those stats as well. And I believe he is the third player in the history of college baseball. Again, don't quote me on that, but I think he's the third player overall in the history of college baseball to ever go 30-plus homers and 25-plus steals. And he ended up with, again, 32 homers and 26 of 28 on stolen base attempts. So kudos to you, young man. Keep grinding, dude. Your future is so bright. Hopefully at some point when Drake Baldwin's done with the Bravos, and we'll hear more about him in a few minutes, we can have you in Atlanta, young man. We'd love to see you swinging the bat here and running the bases for us. So, again, congratulations on the Golden Spikes Award to Daniel Jackson, UGA's finest, UGA Bulldog. And hopefully they can run it back again next year with another quality team and a deep run in the conference and World Series playoffs. Now we're going to get back into something that nobody likes to dig into, but we're going to get back into the WNBA. Watched a lot of video this past week. On Twitter, X, whatever you want to call that, done some highlight stuff through Instagram. Shout out on Instagram for a lot of their videos. They're pretty quality stuff. But I see Caitlin Clark. I see Caitlin Clark get beat up. I see Caitlin Clark's coach not support her. I see Caitlin Clark call their league victims. I see Caitlin Clark's coach call me a non-WNBA fan. Okay, she got that right. She got that one right. I'm not a WNBA fan. But I watched some of it. I watched Caitlin Clark because guess what? She's the face of the league. She's the reason I tune in. She's the reason that we follow the NBA. She's the reason we're talking about the NBA right now. So let me just give you a couple quick things right here. First of all, would you like to speculate on who the top two jersey sales are in the WNBA? Just take a guess. Obviously, I'm putting it on a tee for you. Number one, yes, Caitlin Clark. There you go, Caitlin Clark. Great work. No surprise there. She's filling up the seats. She's putting fannies in the seats on the road. She's filling up 17 to 20,000 viewers in the stands for the WNBA games at Indiana. So she's doing a heck of a job. And she continues to get beat up. She continues to get hurt. She continues to get pushed around and hard fouls. And the refs seem to be looking the other way. Again, we'll get into more of that in a second. But the second leading jersey salesperson is, that's right, her teammate, Sophie Cunningham. Shocker, right? No shocker. So the top two jersey sellers in the league are Caitlin and Sophie, both on the Indiana Fever. And what does the league do? They let her get beat up. They let her get beat up over and over and over and over. So, I have no respect for some of that. So if you'll look at this picture above right here, you'll notice there's 3 girls around her. You'll notice that the other player has her fist on her neck. Now she's turned away. I have another picture where she's actually looking down at herself, hitting her in the neck, hitting Caitlin in the neck. And the player says she doesn't remember hitting her in the neck. It was an accident. She didn't mean to, and there was no ill will. And she doesn't understand why she's suspended for punching another player in the neck while she's on the ground, which is their star player, which, again, nobody can make sense of this. The WNBA, I don't want to get called out by the WNBA, but the WNBA needs to figure it out. I mean, if you're running a business, don't you want to have the superstar as a frontliner on everything you do? Answer, of course, yes. But the WNBA likes to do things differently. They like to punish their star player. They like to not tell you when she's sitting out till about 90 minutes before the game. After they've sold out their arena, they won't tell you she's sitting out until right before that. So ticket holders, season ticket holders, I mean, you have a right to complain on that. But if you're a WNBA person, you're watching this. I mean, I'm not going to call it garbage because the product is not garbage. But when you're watching the garbage that is the uncalled for fouls, the hard fouls, the hitting in the head, the scraping of the face, the punching of the neck, as you see above right here, it's just unacceptable. It's uncalled for. And when it's the face of the franchise, nobody understands it. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. Michael Jordan was put on a pedestal. Those players in the league knew, those coaches in the league knew, and they still talk about it, about how the fact that he should have been overpaid. He should have been paid more by the league besides just his salary. He didn't make his first $33 million contract till his last couple of years with the Bulls. So in theory, 6-time world champion Michael Jordan, he was underpaid. By the way, with Michael Jordan says Caitlin Clark is the GOAT of of the WNBA and of professional women's basketball. So if the GOAT says she's the GOAT, then I'll take a GOAT's word for another GOAT any day of the week. So I believe that is the case. And let's just keep rolling on this Caitlin Clark thing. So if you notice again, you've got this poster over here. This is the 30-year celebration of the WNBA. For you guys on the radio, you can't see it, but it's a 30-year celebration of the WNBA with all the greatest players, the 30 greatest players, if you will, so to speak, and their little picture on the thing with the WNBA logo. And the funny thing about it is, who's missing? I wonder. Let me see. Oh, yeah, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is missing. How can you hold Caitlin Clark off the 30-year anniversary poster for the WNBA's greatest players? It makes no sense, folks. It makes absolutely no sense to us whatsoever. So if you can explain that, I'm happy to listen, but I don't really know the answer there. So, I'm flying solo today. Grainer's out, as I mentioned. Coach Grainer's not here today, so I'm flying solo. So I don't have anybody to pull me back in if I ramble. I don't have anybody to pull me back in if I make a mistake or I say the wrong name or I mispronounce something. So I'm kind of like a fat kid at a public pool in the deep end. Nobody's saving me today. So, if you see anybody out there that's struggling, that might be on the deep end, me in the deep end. Throw me a lifesaver and come get me if you see me flailing. So anyway, that's where we're at. So just trying to throw a little humor at it because we always want to talk about anything that has a ball and keeps a score. We want to talk about it. And that's what we do here on the Chapped podcast, a face for radio. So let's transition from the WNBA. I'm tired of hating on them, but again, they keep doing it to themselves. Let's move into some positive news. Let's move into the baseball world. Let's move in and talk about the Braves. And as we move in and talk about the Braves, let's say, are they in trouble? I know Grainer's not here again, but the answer is yes. The Braves are in a little bit of trouble. They're about 2.5, 3 games out above Philly, 2.5 if you want to know the truth, but 2.5 games above Philly, and Philly has been on fire. Philly's been on fire this month, excuse me. The month of June, they were on fire, and the Braves have been flailing. They were one of the 3 worst records in baseball this past month of June, which is okay. I mean, they're dealing with a lot of injuries. They're dealing with a lot of different things, but there's got to be some deadline deals coming. If you ask me, a deadline deal for the Braves is obviously going to be pitching. I know they need a shortstop, so there could be a big potential splash play there. I've heard names like Corey Seager. I've heard some other different names like that might be available, but he's batting like a bingo number, almost as bad as Kim. But while we're talking about the Braves, man, let's just talk about the Braves. Let's talk about some names that you expected to be, front runners for the Braves team this year. Ha-Seong Kim, batting below 100. I don't think he has an extra base hit for the season. Yastrzemski's done fairly well out there defensively. He's played a couple of different positions for us, right and left, so he's been a good platoon player with that left-handed bat. And otherwise, I mean, we've been pretty solid. I know Riley's struggling. I don't know if he hit a home run in June. I think his last home run, unless he's hit one in the last couple of days, was back in May, maybe May 27th. So Riles, we got to get it going. But, you know, I don't want to post it, but I've told you the solution, and the solution is shave the beard. Riley gets rid of the beard. He takes off. So let's go Braves. Let's get this going, because the Phillies are breathing on our neck. I mean, like, it's like a dog chasing a pork chop right there. The Phillies are so close to us. We can feel that hot Philly breath on the back of our necks, about 2.5 games back. So they fired their coach. They fired some of their staff, and they brought in Don Mattingly. And Mattingly has seemingly turned that ship around. I'm sure he treats those veterans with major respect, but they're a team full of veterans. You've got the Wheeler-Sanchez combo. Sanchez is in line for the Cy Young this year. He's killing it. He goes 7 innings, 9, 10 strikeouts every game. And Wheeler has been just like himself. It looks to me like he's bounced back. I think he had another 10 strikeout performance this past week, but only went 4 or 5 innings. So he didn't get the win, but he's been dominant as well. So when you got those 1-2 starters to roll out, no wonder Philly stays hot. Question for you, trivia for you. Who had the best baseball record in June? I'll hang up and listen. That's a joke. I'm live, so I'm not hanging up. But who do you think had the best record in the Major League Baseball circuit this for the month of June? I'm going to give you 2 more seconds. 2, 1. The Florida Marlins. They were the only team to eclipse 20 wins. I think the Dodgers had the second best record, and Philly was third, or vice versa. But both of those teams are creeping towards the top. The Dodgers had the best record in baseball, and they're staying up there, and they're not going anywhere, and they're just going to get bigger, stronger, and faster. So as we talk about Major League Baseball, we've got to talk about the firing that was the Mets. We called that a long time ago. I don't know what's taking them so long. They're starting to play a bunch of young guys, which is good. If they're smart, they will unload. And I would assume they will unload some of their players. It'll be some of their older players. Soto's not going anywhere. But those guys need to make some moves, and the owner really needs to look deep inside that GM room right there and figure out what the heck they're doing, because for such a large payroll, very disappointing. So as we keep talking about the Mets and Mendoza getting fired and playing younger players and Soto not going anywhere, let's talk about the trade deadline for a second. In Major League Baseball, what about the trade deadline? Again, I'm going to focus on the Braves because I see them on a regular, and I think their needs are obviously we need something at shortstop like we discussed a while ago. We need starting pitching, I believe, for sure. Otherwise, we're in pretty safe conditions. In my opinion, if you get Acuna back, get healthy again, which is a big if with Acuna and the whole team, and their pitching staff cannot sustain another injury. So hopefully Sale keeps going strong and long and keeps his 2.10 ERA rolling. But I think a good move for the Braves, especially like we just talked about with the Mendoza firing and the Mets potentially being sellers. If the Mets are going to sell, I say, let's go get Peralta. You say, you're crazy. Have you seen his last 8 starts? Have you seen he's got the second worst ERA or the worst ERA in Major League Baseball over the last 6-8 starts? I think he's got like a 6.8 ERA, but the dude can sling it. Obviously, there's something wrong mechanically. Maybe there's an injury, but as long as he clears medically, Peralta would be a great fit in the Braves for the stretch run. And we need some more pitching depth, especially at the front end of the rotation. I mean, you're talking about Elder, who's starting to have some of that back second half struggle, even though we're not at the second half or even not even at the All-Star break yet. But Elder's starting to slide just a little bit. So we got to make sure we have some backup. And I think Peralta would be a great fit. And I think the Mets are going to be sellers. So let's go get somebody. Other pitchers to note, maybe Skubal. You probably have to pay way too much for Skubal at this point. But I can also see the Yankees jumping in, who, by the way, the Yankees are in second place. So for all you New York Yankee homers, they're in second place, about 3.5 games behind Tampa Bay. So you guys better get with it. But as we stay on baseball, let's stay on baseball and let's talk about the American League and the National League, and let's talk about the All-Stars. It's coming up right now. So let's go focus on the All-Star games. And the All-Star games say you got to vote. So do your patriotic duty. I'm not asking you to vote for any elections, although I would ask you to always vote and exercise your right. But let's talk about the All-Star ballots and the American League All-Star ballots. I mean, it's no surprise that the All-Star ballot has actually got the National League and the American League vote leaders are the guys that are the ones leading the way. You've got Yordan Alvarez as the leading vote getter in the American League, and you also have Shohei Ohtani as the National League All-Star vote leading All-Star vote getter there with over, I think, 1.1 million. You might not find a couple of surprises, but, you know, Shohei is a minus 1,600 now to win the National League MVP. Obviously, he's pitching well. He's starting to hit again. He's hitting very well. He's just an all-around. He's probably the greatest player we've had in the major leagues. I don't know that you would get argument with that, but perhaps you would. And again, it's America's 250th birthday coming up, but we have to celebrate the greatness that is Shohei Ohtani. And then Yordan Alvarez, like we're talking about in the American League, he's just been ripping it up and lighting it up over there. So there's no doubt on that one. But he is plus 155 to win the American League American League MVP, plus 155. Shohei Ohtani is minus 1,600. Minus 1,600. So there's there's a screen of your All-Star ballot updates. You can see there's some Braves on there. Acuna's been hurt. I know that's somebody that's leading up there in the right field side. Ozzie Albies is leading at second base. And the one I really would like to talk about the most is the Drake Baldwin situation. Great job, Atlanta, for voting. And obviously people worldwide and nationwide are seeing what Drake Baldwin's done. He missed a little bit of time with an oblique, I believe, but he's back and he's hitting again. And good job to Drake Baldwin as the second highest vote getter behind Shohei Ohtani in the National League. So good for him. However, I just would like to say again, I'm more of a National League homer. If you ask me for my vote, which I did vote, by the way, folks, I wouldn't ask you to vote if I didn't. But if you ask me for my votes for National League MVP, or not MVP even, but for National League outfield, I'm going to give you three names that I would put up there that are or aren't up there. So again, here's your slide, and I would probably vote for Jordan Walker. I would vote for James Wood, and I would vote for Pete Crow Armstrong, who's been on fire lately. He just jumped up to like 19 or 20 home runs. It's 19, but he just jumped up to 19 or 20 home runs in the last couple of days. He's a base stealer. He's an all-around, just an athlete. He's a baller. So again, my National League outfield votes for the All-Star game would be Jordan Walker, deserves. James Wood, deserves. And also I would bring up who I just said is Pete Crow Armstrong for the Cubs, who in my opinion deserves, especially how hot he's been lately. But the votes aren't reflecting that right now. The third leading vote getter currently is Andy Pajes in center field. He was on fire. Besides Shohei, he was leading the way until all these Baldwin votes have come in. So I think the last day to vote was July 2nd, so that might be closed. But if there is another round of votes or you get the opportunity to vote, I would definitely say go in and vote. And if you're an Atlanta Braves person, click that button, because right now Freddie Freeman, the ex-Brave, no hating on you, Fred, but the ex-Brave is leading Matt Olson, and it doesn't really make sense why. If you compare, I think Olson's got another 7 homers. He's got more RBIs. Believe it or not, they both have 2 stolen bases, which is earth-shattering for both of those guys. But so those two dudes, Freddie, Olson, to me, if you look at the stats and you look at where they are for the year, I think that most people would probably be inclined to Olson, but obviously they have a big population out in L.A., and maybe that's who's voting for him. Maybe it's the World Cup voters voting for Freddie while they're out in California. But either way, let's get on those ballots. Let's vote the Braves in. Let's get Olson as a starter. Let's keep supporting Drake Baldwin. And again, think about those 3 outfielders that I talked about to you. Let's always, we always want to talk about the Chapped Ass podcast and what chaps our ass on the Chapped Ass podcast. So since Grainer's not here, I'll ask myself, hey, what chaps your ass this week in sports or overall? So there's a couple of things that I would say chap my ass this week. First of all, again, I watched more soccer last night than a grown man should. But last night, watching those dudes flop and rile and writhe and pain, they're just, I can't walk. My liver, my spleen, my neck, he's pulling my hair. And then as soon as they blow the whistle and call the foul, they're able to jump up and run back into action. So the fakers and the floppers in the soccer world is just, it chaps my ass. Okay, there you go. I said it. Another thing that chaps my ass is, this is kind of weird, I guess, but in the softball world, you're posting things, you're trying to get people recruited, you're trying to do these different things to get people on your team and different things like that. And you see these people that are posting anonymously. Hey, I have an 18U player. It's an anonymous post. Hey, I have this, but it's anonymous. Okay, well, if you're posting this, how do we know who you are? How do we get to you? All you're telling us is X, Y, and Z. So anonymous posters. If you're going to post, especially if you're going to put a hate post on something, you're going to talk smack about somebody, do it and go ahead and stamp your name on it, own that comment. So anonymous posts, I guess, chap my ass. So there you go. There you have it. Let's get into a couple shout outs. I got to give some major shout outs. I got to give shout outs to our guys at Truist Park. Guys, you know who you are. We appreciate you guys listening, and we appreciate all the feedback. You notice I'm not putting the reader glasses on too many times because you guys told me that you didn't like it. But Coach Grainer always tells us that you're listening and supporting and sharing. And we appreciate that so much, so thank you guys for doing that. And then I gave a shout out to my sister a couple of weeks ago for some of the swag. People have been asking about swag. We're slowly getting there. As you see, I'm wearing another Chapped Podcast Face for Radio shirt today. But I also want to show you that my sister has made me a couple coasters. These are one-of-a-kind coasters right here. But anyway, these are something that I'm using right now for my water bottles. And she made us these. I call it a makeup bag. But as Grainer said, you could just go ahead and put your all your cameras and all your little equipment, your recording stuff when you're on the road in there. So, hey, it's not a makeup bag. It's not a man satchel. It's a camera holder. So thank you, Stephanie Tovar. You are awesome, and I appreciate it, and you know this, and I love you, and I thank you for your help. And this one-of-a-kind first version, beta version of the Chapped Podcast muscle shirt, workout shirt for women. I'm not going to be wearing that, folks, because I do have a face for radio, and I have a body that's way worse. So thank you, Stephanie, for all the cool swag. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Although we do have some cups and bottles coming in soon. So as we wrap this up, I just want to say again, get out there and celebrate your country. It's Red, White, and Blue weekend. Happy 250th America. And for the Chapped Podcast, a face for radio, I'm your host, Chap Green, and I'm out.
Yeah, yeah.